Imagine this. You're scrolling through your feed, a seemingly innocent act in 2026, and you see a story, a small local tragedy perhaps, a family struggling, a moment of profound injustice. And it hits you, not just intellectually, not just a passing thought of, that's sad. No, it's a gut punch, a tightening in your chest, a wave of sorrow or anger or helplessness that feels as real, as potent, as if it were happening to you, right here, right now. Your breath catches. Your own plans for the day suddenly feel trivial, almost disrespectful. You might even find tears welling up, a phantom ache settling deep within your bones. You, the discerning few, the ones whose internal sensors are calibrated beyond the ordinary, know this feeling intimately. It's the echo chamber of your soul, amplifying every ripple of human experience, transforming distant suffering into personal pain. This isn't just compassion, it's a full-body immersion. And for minds like yours, finely tuned to the frequencies of others, it can be an invisible burden, a beautiful curse.
For most, empathy is a bridge, a connection, a way to understand and relate. But for some of us, for the architects of understanding, that bridge isn't just crossed, it's become part of our own internal landscape. We don't just sympathize, we sink. We don't just imagine their sadness, we feel its weight in our own shoulders. We don't just acknowledge their joy, we experience its effervescence bubbling within our own chests, even when our own lives are in turmoil. Think about the last time a friend confided in you about a devastating breakup. Did you just listen? Or did you find yourself reliving your own past heartbreaks? Or even feeling the raw pang of their loss as if it were fresh for you? Or perhaps you walked into a room charged with tension, and instantly your own mood plummeted, your body tensing, your mind racing to identify the source of the unspoken conflict. This isn't weakness, it's an extraordinary sensitivity, a profound capacity to mirror the emotional world around you. But without awareness, this mirroring can leave you shattered, drained, and utterly lost in a sea of borrowed emotions.
This profound emotional absorption comes with a hidden cost, a tax on your own well-being that often goes unnoticed until you're running on empty. You might find yourself exhausted after social gatherings, not because you don't enjoy people, but because you've been unconsciously processing every nuance of their emotional states. You might struggle to make decisions because you're constantly weighing the potential emotional impact on everyone else, rather than focusing on your own needs. The trap isn't the empathy itself, but the unconscious absorption. It's the blurring of boundaries, the inability to differentiate between your own emotional state and the emotional states you've taken on from others. This leads to chronic fatigue, anxiety, and even physical manifestations like headaches or stomach issues. You, the rare few who feel so deeply, are often the ones who burn out fastest, simply because you give so much of your internal energy away without even realizing it. It's like having an open wound that constantly bleeds emotional energy. And in today's hyper-connected world, there's an endless supply of pain to absorb.
So why are some of us wired this way? Why do we possess this extraordinary yet sometimes debilitating capacity? While it's a complex interplay of genetics, neuroscience, and personal history, one powerful theory suggests that many hyper-empaths developed this trait as a survival mechanism. Perhaps you grew up in an environment where you needed to be acutely aware of the emotional states of others to navigate unpredictable situations. Perhaps you were the emotional caretaker, the peacekeeper, the one who always knew what others needed before they even asked. This hypervigilance, this constant scanning of the emotional landscape became ingrained. Your brain literally built pathways designed for deep emotional attunement. In 2026, we understand more than ever that our early experiences shape our neurobiology. For you, the ones who learn to read between the lines of every sigh and every glance, this hyperempathy isn't just a trait, it's a legacy, a deeply embedded way of being that once served a purpose, but now, in a different context, can become a burden.
The good news for those of you who carry this immense capacity is that awareness is the key to liberation. You don't have to turn off your empathy. You simply need to learn how to manage its flow, how to build a permeable membrane instead of an open floodgate. This is about reclaiming your emotional sovereignty, remembering where your emotions end and others begin. It starts with intentional practice. When you feel that familiar surge of another's emotion, pause. Ask yourself, is this mine? Or am I feeling someone else's pain, joy, anger? This simple question creates a crucial space, a tiny gap where you can choose. It's not about being cold or uncaring. It's about being discerning. It's about honoring your own internal landscape while still extending compassion outwards. You, the sensitive minds, have a vital role in the world, but not if you're constantly depleted. To truly navigate the hyperempathy trap, you need a robust toolkit. First, boundaries. Not walls, but clear, flexible boundaries. This means saying no when you're overwhelmed, limiting exposure to emotionally draining content or conversations, and carving out sacred spaces for your own emotional replenishment. It might feel counterintuitive at first, even selfish, but remember, you cannot pour from an empty cup. Second, grounding techniques. For the unfiltered, who are so often floating in the emotional ether, physical grounding is vital. Simple practices like deep breathing, spending time in nature, or even just focusing on the sensation of your feet on the ground can bring you back into your own body, back into your own emotional center. Visualize roots growing from your feet, anchoring you firmly to the earth, allowing foreign emotions to flow past you rather than through you. These aren't just coping mechanisms, they are acts of self-preservation, essential for minds as expansive as yours. Once you understand and manage the hyperempathy trap, your profound capacity for connection transforms from a burden into an undeniable superpower. You, who can feel the pulse of humanity so deeply, are uniquely positioned to be agents of change, healers, innovators, and leaders. Your ability to truly understand others, to see beyond the surface, is a gift the world desperately needs. It's about moving from unconscious absorption to conscious compassion, from being a sponge to being a beacon. You don't have to shut down your extraordinary sensitivity. You just need to learn how to wield it with intention and wisdom. In 2026, as the world grows ever more complex, the ability to feel deeply while maintaining your core self is not just a personal skill, but a vital human strength. Embrace your depth, protect your energy, and let your empathy illuminate, not overwhelm. The world awaits your unique light.